Hello and welcome to the Willow Cove Crafts knitting and sewing channel. Hi everyone and welcome to Willow Cove Crafts, my channel here on YouTube where I talk about knitting and sewing and my other crafty endeavors. My name is Emily and today is the last Sunday of the month. It is May 2023 in case you are watching this at some point in the future. And so that means it is time for my monthly makes video where I talk about everything that I worked on in the past month. This month I have no finished objects, unfortunately. I have 4 works in progress, 3 of which I was working on last month and a brand new cast on to show you today. I am going to start off by showing you the projects that I have shown before on previous episodes if you have watched, but the first one is my half and half triangles wrap, which is a free pattern by Purl Soho. It is a massive undertaking. I've been working on it, not consistently, but I've been working on it on and off for over a year. And I'm getting so close to being done with it. I've mentioned previously that this has been my work project, so I haven't been getting a ton of time in on it because I do specifically save it for work because it's a really great mindless project. However, I did get a couple inches in this month and I'm getting really close to finishing up the whole thing. So I will hold it up and try and show you. It's, like I said, quite big. So this is essentially a giant square that is split down the diagonal, making 2 right triangles, and you knit 1 triangle in one color and the second triangle in a different color. And for those of you that are familiar with the pattern, I should have counted. I counted at some point this week, but I have about 40 wrap and turns left before I'm done. So the rows are quite long. However, watching this little section of stitches get smaller and smaller as I knit has been so satisfying, and I'm getting really close to being done. I didn't get a ton of work done on this month. Here is my marker from where I was last time. So about 2 inches. Again, I kind of saved this one for work, and work was pretty busy this month, and I did work on a different project while I was at work most of the time this month. So this one kind of got backburnered a little bit, but it's gonna feel so good when this is finished. The yarn I am using is the yarn that is called for in the pattern. It is Purl Soho's Linen Quill, which is a fingering weight yarn, and it is, I looked it up before I started filming, 50% wool, 35% alpaca, and 15% linen. And obviously I use 2 colors. My first color is honey pink. And then my current triangle that I am working on is turmeric yellow. I think I've shown this on like 10 different podcast episodes. It's been a really long-standing work in progress. But, oh, it's so close. I have several of my works in progress. I didn't finish anything this month, but I'm really close to finishing several things. So I'm hopeful that next month I'm gonna have a clearing of the needles. Things are just gonna all kind of finish up at the same time. Maybe this one will be done. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just taking it to work every day. It'll get done when it gets done, but super enjoyable, mindless project. It's just garter stitch with some wrap and turns, and it's delightful. It's very calming. Highly recommend you give it a try if you're looking for a big, mindless project. My next work in progress is also one I was working on last month that has gotten some work done in the last several weeks, and that is my Moonset tee by Ozetta. And here it is. So this is a short sleeve V-neck t-shirt. It's pretty plain. I do think it's gonna be a wardrobe staple. I absolutely love it. Since last time, where was I? The marker blends in a little bit, but here's where I was last month. So I knit, I don't know, maybe 9 inches on the body. I haven't quite finished the body yet. It's still on some needles. I decided to take a little break from the body and knit the sleeves. So I've also knit one of the sleeves, and it's rolling up quite a bit. I do think it has an I-cord edging, so it's gonna roll a little bit, but I do think it will flatten out a bit more with blocking. And then I've barely started the second sleeve. I think I've knit 1 row on the second sleeve. So my plan is to obviously finish the second sleeve and then go back and finish the body. The yarn I am using is this beautiful stuff. This is Ampersand fiber in the Caslon fingering base, which is a 100% US Corriedale wool. And this is the colorway Oat 01. And the reason I decided to knit the sleeves, I wanted to get those done. I am running out of yarn, kind of. So I had less yarn. I have 3 skeins of the Ampersand fibers, and the yardage I had was slightly less than what was called for my size in the pattern. I think I'm making the size 3, I want to say. I had slightly less yardage than the size that I was making, and I thought I could probably get away with it. And then I also felt okay with it because I have a 4th skein of this yarn that I am using for a different project, or I have plans to use for a different project, and I just need a little bit of it for that other project when I start it at some point in the future. I'm not working on that project at all. I have no idea when I'm going to start it, but I just need a little bit. So I was thinking, if needed, I could dip into that 4th skein and use it to finish this up. But I did want to see like how far I could stretch the 3 skeins that I had set aside specifically for this project. So this is all I have left. I have enough to finish the second sleeve. I weighed this before knitting the first sleeve, and I have enough to finish the second sleeve. And I think I'm gonna have somewhere around 6 grams left over by the time I finish the second sleeve, which is not a lot. And yes, the body, I forget exactly how long you're supposed to knit the body, but I think I have like a 1/2 inch left. And then I'll bind off. So I'm gonna be cutting it close. I might not make it. I also might decide to lengthen the body. We will see. But yes, I want to see how far I get with this, but I might be running out and might need to dip into that 4th skein. So just as a call out, if you are making this for yourself, the yardage estimates that Ozetta gives you are pretty close to what you will actually need. I know a lot of designers give like a 10% overage estimation of the yarn that you will need. So I was like, maybe I'll get away with it. I don't know if I will. So I digress. Again, this one is almost done. I think I could probably finish it this month. It all depends on how distracted I get by my other projects, but this one is really close to being done. I would like to finish it this month because I am going on vacation in July, and it would be nice to have something that I made, a nice hand knit t-shirt to wear on my trip. My next work in progress is a brand new cast on that I started this month, and it is the Cardi Cocoon by Ventzel. And I was really excited to start this. I've been properly obsessed with this pattern for a really long time. It's this perfect, just oversized, huge, cozy cardigan. I imagine it being a really good layering piece in the summer, and then obviously in the winter, you know, when it's cold at night, you can wear it in the summer, and then winter, always looking for warm layers to wear in the winter. But anyways, here is where I'm at. It's blowing out a little bit. It is a pretty perfect, soft ice blue. It looks a little funny at the moment. So this is actually, I'll hold it the correct way. This is the back of the neck, and right now I am knitting the back piece. So this is the back of the neck, and then these are the shoulder seams. Again, it's really oversized and really kind of exaggerated in shape. And so the shoulder seams are just huge and really steep. And it has this all over cable pattern. It's a pretty simple cable, but it is pretty concentrated. And so it takes a bit of time. It's quite slow going, but it just makes this beautiful texture. I was actually surprised when I started this that it was a cable. I couldn't quite tell from the pictures. I thought it was just an all over textured stitch, but it is a cable. So yes, and I've kind of evened out. So the shoulders are done, and now right here is the armhole. So right now I'm knitting flat down to the armpit, and then I will pick up, it's very similar to a lot of other drop shoulder top-down constructions where you knit the back and then you pick up your shoulder seams and then you knit the two fronts, and then you join at the armpits and knit down to the bottom of the sweater. So yes, I'm really enjoying working on this. The fabric I'm getting is like so luxurious. So the yarn I am using, I am holding 3 different yarns together as is called for in the pattern. All of them are knitting for olive. So my first yarn is knitting for olive merino. This is their fingering weight wool. Oop, throwing it. So like I said, this is a 100% fingering weight wool, and this is the color soft blue. And then I am also holding a strand of their soft silk mohair, also in the soft blue. Their soft silk mohair, I want to say, is 75% mohair, 25% silk. And then I'm also holding a second strand of the silk mohair in the colorway Purl Gray. And that's how Ventzel did her original pattern. She held 3 like slightly different colors, and I think it just gives a little bit of an extra depth and sheen to the finished object because you've got that one strand of the silver kind of going through it. It's really, really lovely. And then that double mohair. I have a love-hate relationship with double mohair. It seems a little silly to me sometimes, but it does make the finished piece extra, extra soft. It's so expensive though, which is like why it pains me a little bit. But I am holding the 2 strands of mohair. I sucked it up and I did it. So yes, I love just seeing them in a little stack. Just that slight color variation with the gray. I think it's gonna be really, really pretty. So I did want to call out, I've heard other people talk about this and I have to contribute to the conversation. And Ventzel's patterns are a little funny when it comes to sizing. So this particular pattern only comes in 2 sizes. There's small, medium, and then large, extra large, I think are the 2 sizes. It's meant to be really oversized, so I'm making the biggest size. It's gonna be pretty big on me still, so it's a big piece. However, there's only 2 sizes. I find that a little funny. I don't know, I'm not a knitwear designer. I will be the first one to say I understand it's very complicated, but other people manage and do it. There are lots of designers out there who are doing 10, 11 sizes in their knitting patterns. So to only put out 2 sizes is a little strange to me. I think she has another pattern that's a 1 size fits all. And then her patterns that do have multiple sizes are not very size inclusive in my opinion. So I think she's a little controversial in that regard. So yeah, something to call out. You know, you can decide if it's important to you to only knit size inclusive patterns. This one does get pretty big, so I decided I was gonna make it, but I was like looking through her stuff and I was like, she has gorgeous patterns. I really, really like her pattern aesthetic, but I was like, the sizing here is a little strange. And I don't think her patterns are super complicated. Again, beautiful. It's like my dream aesthetic. I love when things are like neat and clean. And so her patterns are not, you know, it's not like they have like these crazy like lace patterns or cables all over them. They're like pretty simple. And so I feel like grading them to different sizes is maybe not as complicated as it would be with a more intricate pattern. So the choice to do, you know, 1 size fits all, 2 sizes, to only offer up to like 4 different sizes, I think is a little strange. And I will leave it at that. Anyways, Cardi Cocoon. Super excited for this finished project. I think it's gonna be maybe the coziest thing I've ever made. And yes, hopefully get a lot of good work in on that this coming month. My last work in progress to share with you today is sewing, and I have continued to work on, as I have for months and months and months, on my Inner Beauty quilt by Southern Charm Quilts. I made some progress, not a ton, but I am able to fold it. So that is like a big milestone in quilt making, in my opinion, is when you get something that is big enough to be folded. It's a very, very exciting day. So the Inner Beauty quilt is a pattern, again, by Melanie Traylor of Southern Charm Quilts. It is a queen size quilt, and it is sewn together in 4 quadrants, and then the quadrants get put together. So I have finished my first quadrant, and I should say I've made all of the blocks. That is completely done. Now I'm just putting them together into the final quilt top. So I've completely finished my first quadrant, and I'm working on the second quadrant. It's in a shambles over there, so I won't show you, but I can show you my first quadrant, maybe kind of. It's big. This is actually folded double. So hopefully you can see that, kind of, sort of. I love the middle. The middle gets really concentrated with, you know, kind of intricate blocks, and I just think it looks great. I do not know what the colors are, but I used all Kona cotton by Robert Kaufman Fabrics. And yes, it's very satisfying. If you've never made a quilt before, I definitely think everyone should try it. There's something special about a quilt. Like, finishing any project is very, very satisfying, but finishing a quilt is extra satisfying to me. It's just this like beautiful kaleidoscopic thing, and it can be folded. I don't know what else to say. It's great when you finish a quilt top, or the whole quilt in general. I don't know, I find it to be the most satisfying type of finished object. It's so fun, and like, I think there's like just a crispness to it that is, it's great. So if you've never made a quilt, you should try it at least once. I just love to stare at it. I just like pick up my little blanket here and like carry it around like this. You're getting a glimpse into my psyche here, my strange behavior when I'm home alone. But yes, I just love carrying it like this, like a little baby. I digress. Yeah, I'm really hoping, I said this last month, I'm really hoping to finish this quilt top this month. So yeah, I maybe will finish my moonset tee, finish my quilt top, maybe finish my half and half wrap. I highly, highly doubt I will finish all three in the next month, but they're all so close to being done. I think I'm gonna have a finished object parade here soon. Well, the quilt's not gonna be done soon. The quilt top will be done soon, and then I have to actually quilt it, which will be a whole other process. But I feel like when you're making a quilt, finishing the top it feels like a finished object, and then you do the actual quilting to like completely finish it out. And that's like a whole different project, in my opinion, to me. So anyways, really loving it. People have commented, I was calling this ugly quilt for a really long time because I was really unsure about my color choices. I completely take it back. I love it. I think it's gorgeous. I do not think my quilt is ugly anymore. Rest assured, I'm very, very happy with it. And that is everything I have to share with you this month. Looking ahead to the month of June, again, I'm hoping to keep working on my current projects, maybe finish up a few of them. And yes, I'm thinking about a new Caslon in June. So I am going to be traveling for most of the month of July. I'm taking 4 weeks off of work, and I'm going to a couple different places. I'll talk more about that next month, but I'm not gonna be home for most of the month of July, and so I need to come up with the perfect project to take with me on my trips. So I haven't quite decided what that's going to be, but I do have a short list. So hopefully by the end of June, I'll have just started something new in preparation for my month away. So yes, very excited about that. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far and you really liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, leave it a comment. Don't forget to subscribe if you hadn't. I have mohair in my mouth. And yes, I do think my video pacing will be a little slower over the summer. I've been just really busy. And by busy, I mean, I don't know, I'm not actually like busy, but I've been trying to really prioritize like just getting outside. It's the beginning of summer. The weather's been gorgeous. You know, I just wanna, you know, sit out by the pool and go on walks and just really soak in the season. Summer is my favorite season, which I think is a little blasphemous for a knitter to say, because you can't wear your knitwear in the summer really, but summer is my favorite season. And I'm trying to prioritize really enjoying it. So I think that means that I'm going to be making less videos over the summer. I am gonna still do my monthly makes videos at the end of every month, but you probably will not hear much from me in between, especially in July. Like I said, I'm not gonna be here. So yes, I'm still around, I'm still making videos. I'm hopefully gonna pick up a little bit more in the fall, but right now I just really feel the need to enjoy the summertime. So hopefully you are as well. And yeah, I will talk to you next month. Bye everyone.